Hey 1063 students and parents, that's me, Haley. Just wanted to do a recap tonight of 1063. Pastor Janio is actually not with us tonight. He's not feeling well, so if you could be praying for him and for his complete healing and health. He's doing okay, just some sickness. So if you could just be praying for him, that would be awesome. And just for their family, that no one else would get sick. Tonight I actually preached, and I preached on fear. And so I just talked about fear and how fear, I feel like, is like haunting a generation. How a generation is dealing with fear of, men being rejected, not being, ever really being accepted or approved by people around them. Fear of inadequacy, not being good enough, never, measuring up. Fear of the past. Fear of, that their past is haunting them, that they're never going to be anything because of their past, and fear of failure. I really dealt with a lot of fear of failure and not being good enough and never feeling like I was going to fulfill the call of God in my life. And Ethan actually did like a monologue and presented himself as fear, and he did an awesome job. It was so cool, and just talked about how fear is only powerful if you feed it. And I had some students, some refuge students that were up there with white shirts on, and they had "Hello, my name is" labels on them, and it's things that fear had put on them. And I talked about how fear only tells one part of the story. Fear just wants you to know what you're not good at, but ultimately, the enemy on purpose leaves out the other side of the story, which is the love of God and the redemption and the restoration of Jesus. And so I talked about the love of God and how God, 1 John 4:18, that perfect love casts out fear, and he, who's been made perfect in love doesn't fear. That's a paraphrase of that part, but ultimately, the goal is that if you understand the love of God and know the love of God, you won't struggle with fear in your life, and how God desires you to be free from that. And so I played this song by Shane and Shane called "Embracing Accusation," and it's a great song. You should look it up. And at the end, it says Jesus saves. And so when that played, the students took off the labels off their shirt, and underneath it, Cody and Christine, it had son and daughter. And I talked to them about how the only thing that God ever desired to be placed on you was his name as son and daughter. And so a lot of kids responded and got really touched tonight. And I just encourage them, just to run after Jesus. And so, don't allow fear to reign in your life. Don't let fear stop you from being the person, no matter your age, no matter, what you've done, what your past is, what other people have said about you. Don't allow fear to keep you from being who God's called you to be. And I just talked to them about there are other people in their generation that need them not to be afraid, but to love them, and how God created us to be loved. And so it was a great night, and they're incredible students whom I love dearly. And so just thank you to all of you that were here, and thank you to all of you out there in Facebook or out there on Twitter for just taking a moment to listen to this. We love you, 1063. We appreciate all of you, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you so much.